We're here today with Neil Davies, Marketing Director for Hornady, and Neil's got some great news about bullets, especially what's going on with the full line of hunting ammunition.
Yeah, that's right. So, we're out here hunting with Precision Hunter with our brand new 7mm PRC cartridge. Right here, this one's obviously loaded with the ELDX. So this features our heat shield tip technology. So our ballistic development group, a bunch of guys back at work that work in the lab, and
They're real smart guys.
Way smarter than me. Trust me, they can do math. But we have a Doppler radar, and they're using the Doppler radar to do some testing. And we have the CX projectiles, or at the time we had the GMX projectile, right? So they started looking at that across the Doppler radar, doing a bunch of testing, and they wanted to make that bullet just a little bit better, right? So what they discovered is that some of those pressure leaving grooves, because on a monolithic bullet, a solid bullet, you have to have a place for that metal to flow as it goes through the rifling. It's also a location where you can do some crimping and things like that too, but its most important application is to allow that metal on the bullet to flow as it's engraving on the rifling. So instead of making a sharp 90 on there for that pressure leaving groove, now we worked and found the right angle to make a radius for that pressure leaving groove, and the air flows off it just a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
So now with the advancements and the enhancement of that particular bullet, the GMX that it was, we now made that change, and then it also benefits from the inclusion of the heat shield tip, which, as many of the folks out there understand, we made a discovery also with the Doppler radar that conventional polymer tips were melting in flight due to aerodynamic heating. Yeah, exactly. Now that takes place with muzzle velocity, ambient temperature, time, all those things are part of that. But when you're trying to have extended range hunting ammunition, you've got to have a known projectile that you can use to calculate in your trajectory solver. So by the inclusion of the heat shield tip in those CX projectiles now, we have an extended range monolithic hunting bullet that you can use our solver, the Ford-off ballistic solver, to get an accurate trajectory calculations for longer and extended range shooting with a monolithic projectile.
One of the coolest experiences I ever had was being invited down to Hornady and watching that Doppler radar, and we were actually shooting targets out beyond 1,000 yards. I mean, it was just the most awesome thing, and then just looking at that data roll in. I mean, that's revolutionary in bullets and hunting.
Yeah, the Doppler radar has led us to numerous advents that have benefited ultimately the shooter or the consumer out there.
Well, let's go put one to the test.
Okay.